The most dangerous person in any room isn't the loudest. It's the one who stays calm, the one who doesn't react, the one who lets silence, discipline, and inner strength do the fighting. Today I'll show you 13 ancient Stoic secrets that crush your enemies. Without ever lifting a finger in every age, human beings have faced rivalry, conflict, and resistance. Not always on battlefields, but often in the quiet places of life, within families, workplaces, friendships, and our own minds. The Stoics understood something profound. The strongest victory is the one that requires no fight, no anger, no chaos, only mastery over oneself. Today, I'll share 13 ancient Stoic secrets that allow you to silently defeat your opponents, not by harming them, but by elevating yourself so high that their attacks cannot reach you. 1. Control yourself, and you control the conflict. Your enemy's greatest weapon is your reaction. The moment you lose control, you lose the power. Silence, breath, composure. When others provoke you, let them see nothing but a still mind. That alone breaks them. 2. Rule your emotions before they rule you. Anger is the easiest way to hand your opponent victory. The Stoics taught, what hurts you controls you. If you stay calm when they expect you to explode, you win without saying a word. 3. Choose not to be insulted. Your opponent throws insults. Let them fall like stones thrown into an ocean. If it does not enter your soul, it cannot harm you. Silence becomes your shield. 4. Turn every attack into fuel for growth. When someone tries to tear you down, use that moment to rise higher. Transform every wound into wisdom, every challenge into strength. Outgrow them. That's the silent victory. 5. Let your results defeat their words. Arguments end when results appear. While they gossip, you grow. While they plot, you progress. Success is the loudest way to crush an opponent without speaking. 6. Understand their weakness, not their rage. Do not focus on what they say, focus on why they say it. Envy speaks loudly. Insecurity attacks first. When you understand their weakness, you no longer fear their strength. 7. Master the power of indifference. Indifference is not weakness, it is ultimate dominance. To show that their actions cannot influence your peace is to remove all their power over you. Ignore wisely, not blindly. 8. Don't respond immediately. Respond intelligently. A delayed response reveals power. When you pause, you rise above impulses. Your opponent acts from emotion, you act from reason. That's how you win. 9. Keep your plans hidden. Let your moves speak, never reveal your intentions. Let your growth surprise them. Let your discipline confuse them. Let your success humble them. Move silently but effectively. 10. Strengthen your mind more than your voice. Loudness is not power, clarity is. A sharpened mind can cut through any conflict. When you think deeply, you act decisively, and no opponent can predict or stop you. 11. Do not engage in small battles. Not every insult deserves attention. Not every challenge is worthy of you. Rise above petty wars. A lion does not answer barking dogs. 12. Make your life your revenge. The Stoics believe the greatest victory is becoming better than you were yesterday. Improve until their jealousy turns into silence, until their doubts turn into admiration. Your evolution becomes their defeat. 13. Become untouchable by owning your inner world. The ultimate Stoic secret: you crush your enemies not by overpowering them, but by becoming untouchable within. When your mind is steady, your heart fearless, and your purpose strong, nothing outside you can break you. Silent power is the most underrated strength a human being can possess. Most people think dominance is about speaking louder, hitting harder, or proving a point in every argument. But true power never needs to announce itself. It lives in calmness. It lives in control. It lives in the ability to stay still when others expect you to break. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They believed that the moment you react in anger, you hand your opponent the weapon that destroys you. The moment someone can make you lose control, they own a part of you. And that is the real defeat. When you choose silence over reaction, you aren't running away, you are rising above. You are showing that the conflict is too small for your character. You are showing that you operate on a level they cannot reach. Most people fight because they want attention, they want validation, they want to feel bigger than they are. But when they meet someone who refuses to join their emotional battle, they lose the only arena where they had any chance of victory. Silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It is strength, it is wisdom. It is the ability to see the bigger picture. Anyone can shout, anyone can insult, anyone can be loud. But it takes a powerful mind to pause, to breathe, and to respond with intention instead of impulse. When someone attacks you and you remain composed, it confuses them, it throws them off balance. They expected an explosion, but they received stillness. And that stillness is what breaks them internally. People fear what they cannot predict. And silence is unpredictable. When you react loudly, they understand you. They can measure your emotions, your fears, your limits. But when your mind remains untouched, you become unreadable, unshakable, and untouchable. That is why controlling yourself is the first victory in any conflict. You are not fighting them, you are mastering yourself. And when you master yourself, the conflict collapses. The truth is, you don't need to win every argument. You don't need to correct every wrong word. You don't need to defend yourself against every accusation. Time reveals everything. Actions expose everyone. Let them talk. Let them assume. Let them attack. While they waste their energy trying to provoke you, you conserve yours. While they fall into emotional traps, you rise above. Every one of them. That is silent domination. You defeat your opponent not by responding, but by refusing to let their behavior decide your behavior. The moment you choose your own reaction, you win. The moment you stay calm when they expect you to fall apart, you win. The moment you walk away with your dignity while they drown in their own anger, you win. Silent power is not about ignoring the world. It is about refusing to let the world control your inner state. It is choosing to be the master of your mind, not a slave to your emotions. That is where your real strength lies. That is where victory begins. You don't crush your opponents by shouting louder. You crush them by showing that nothing they do can break the peace you have built inside yourself. A storm cannot drown a mountain. Noise cannot shake a man who stands firm within himself. So control yourself, protect your inner peace, and let your silence speak for you. Because silence, when mastered, becomes the loudest power you can ever hold. Emotional mastery is not something you are born with. It is something you build, moment by moment, decision by decision, experience by experience. And yet, it is the single greatest weapon you will ever carry. When you rule your emotions, you rule your life. When you lose control of them, everything outside you gains control over you. This is why your opponents don't actually need physical strength to defeat you. They only need to pull you into emotional chaos. They only need you to react without thinking. They only need to trigger the part of you that forgets your purpose, your values, your strength. And once they pull you into that emotional storm, the fight is already over. because they have dragged you down to the level where you are no longer fighting with wisdom, but with impulse. The Stoics taught that emotions are not the enemy, losing control to them is. Anger, fear, jealousy, resentment. These emotions only become powerful when you let them dictate your behavior. The moment you recognize them as temporary waves passing through your mind, you take away their ability to control your actions. Your enemy cannot break a calm mind. They cannot manipulate a stable heart. They cannot push someone who stands firmly within themselves. Emotional mastery is not about being emotionless. It is about understanding your emotions so deeply that no one else can use them against you. Think about how many conflicts in your life were made worse because someone reacted too quickly. One angry word, one emotional outburst, one uncontrolled moment, and relationships were damaged, opportunities were lost, respect was destroyed. But imagine if, in those moments, you had stayed calm. Imagine if you had responded with clarity rather than anger. The entire direction of the conflict would have changed. This is the silent power of emotional control. It doesn't just protect you, it defeats the intentions of anyone trying to provoke you. Your opponents want you emotional because emotional people make mistakes. Emotional people reveal their weakness. Emotional people expose their insecurities. Emotional people lose focus, lose logic, and lose balance. But when you refuse to be moved by their words or actions, you take away their influence. You strip them of the ability to dictate the flow of the situation. You force them to confront their own lack of self-control. Emotional mastery flips the power dynamic. Suddenly, they are the ones who appear unstable, reactive, and weak, while you stand firm and unshaken. The more calm you are, the more power you hold. Calmness allows you to see the situation clearly. It allows you to choose the best response instead of the quickest one. It allows you to stay aligned with your purpose, rather than getting lost in noise. And most importantly, it protects your energy, because emotional reactions drain you, exhaust you, and distract you from your path. People will always try to provoke you. They will test your patience. They will push your limits. They will try to pull you into their drama because it gives them a sense of control. But when you remain centered, when you refuse to give them the emotional reaction they want, you break their strategy. You become unpredictable. You become untouchable. You become someone who cannot be manipulated or controlled. Emotional mastery is the shield that guards you from every attack. It is the armor that protects your peace. It is the proof that you've evolved beyond the level of petty conflicts, and the moment you master it, you will notice something powerful. The battles you used to fight disappear. The people who used to challenge you lose interest, and the situations that once overwhelmed you no longer shake you. Because when you control your emotions, you control the outcome. And when you control the outcome, you silently crush every opponent who ever thought they could control you. Insults only have power when you allow them to enter your mind. The moment you accept someone's words as truth, you give them permission to define your worth. But when you refuse to be insulted, when you choose not to let their words touch your inner world, their attacks become meaningless. They dissolve into the air before they ever reach your heart. This ability, this discipline, is one of the greatest forms of silent strength a person can possess. Most people crumble not because of what others say, but because they themselves repeat those insults internally. They take an external opinion and turn it into an internal wound. But the Stoics taught that an insult is nothing more than noise unless you decide to carry it. If someone throws a stone at a mountain, the mountain does not crack. It doesn't shake. It doesn't respond. It simply stands. That is how you must train your mind to be. Let their words hit you and fall. Let them bounce off your character without leaving a mark. Insults reveal far more about the speaker than the target. A person who feels the need to insult others exposes their inner turmoil, their insecurity, their bruised ego. No one at peace attacks others. No one truly strong tries to hurt people with words. Behind every insult is a weakness, and when you understand this, you stop taking their words personally. You see the truth. They are not attacking you, they are projecting themselves. What truly crushes an opponent is not shouting back, but showing them that their words cannot control you. When someone insults you and you remain calm, unbothered, unaffected, you take away their power. They wanted to trigger you. They wanted to make you react. They wanted to see you lose control, but instead you offer stillness, and that stillness exposes their pettiness more loudly than any comeback ever could. The world is full of people who seek validation by tearing others down. They want to feel superior for a moment. They want to see if they can get under your skin. But when you rise above their behavior, when you refuse to let their insults shape your emotions, you place yourself on a level they cannot access. You show them that you play a different game, one of self-control, one of inner strength, one of unshakable confidence. Choosing not to be insulted is not about suppressing emotions or pretending not to care. It is about recognizing your true worth. It is about knowing yourself so deeply that no external opinion can rewrite your identity. If someone calls you worthless, it doesn't make you worthless. If someone calls you weak, it doesn't diminish your strength. Their words have no authority unless you grant it to them. And wise people do not hand out that authority freely. When you do not react to insults, your opponent becomes frustrated. Their words lose their impact. Their attempts to hurt you fall flat. They realize they cannot reach you, cannot influence you, cannot disturb your peace, and in that moment you win. Not by fighting, but by not giving them the emotional victory they desired. Silence becomes your triumph. People often say, ignore the noise, but this is deeper than simple ignorance. This is mastery. It means training your mind to remain inside your own truth. It means understanding that your worth comes from your actions, your character, your discipline, not from anyone's opinion. It means realizing that most insults are nothing but emotional outbursts from people who haven't mastered themselves. The greatest defense against insult is indifference, not coldness, not arrogance, but the quiet confidence of someone who knows that words cannot harm a grounded spirit. When you reach this level, your enemies defeat themselves. Their insults become echoes in the distance, fading immediately, powerless against a mind that refuses to absorb them. Because in the end, the only insult that can hurt you is the one you choose to believe. And when you choose not to believe any of them, you become untouchable. Every attack you face in life carries a hidden message. It tells you something about your own strength, your own gaps, your own resilience. The Stoics believe that every challenge is a chance to rise higher, every setback an opportunity to grow, and every opponent a teacher disguised as an enemy. When someone tries to tear you down, you have two choices. You can let their attack damage you, or you can convert it into fuel that strengthens you. Most people choose the first path. They break, they complain, they take things personally. But those who understand the power of transformation choose the second path. They grow, they evolve, they become stronger than before. No one becomes powerful by living an easy life. Strength is not built in comfort, it is built in friction. When someone challenges you, insults you, or tries to bring you down, they are handing you the raw material for growth. Pain becomes the fire that shapes you. Resistance becomes the pressure that molds you. Adversity becomes the weight that builds your mental muscles. The truly wise do not run from difficulties, they use them. They treat every attack as a tool for self-improvement. Enemies often think they are destroying you, but in reality, they are revealing your inner potential. Nothing exposes your weaknesses like confrontation. Nothing reveals your patience like provocation. Nothing strengthens your character like someone testing your limits. And if you pay attention, if you observe yourself during these moments, you will discover parts of yourself you never knew existed. This is how growth works. It begins in discomfort, thrives in resistance, and blossoms in reflection. When someone tries to break your confidence, build it higher. When someone tries to shake your peace, deepen your calm. When someone tries to limit you, expand beyond what they ever expected. Imagine how unstoppable you become when every attack makes you more disciplined, more focused, more resilient. People who try to harm you expect you to fall, not to rise. They expect you to respond in anger, not wisdom. They expect you to crumble, not transform. And this is where your silent victory begins. Your opponent is not prepared for a version of you that evolves through adversity. They don't expect their negativity to become your motivation. They don't expect their criticism to sharpen your clarity. They don't expect their attempts to weaken you to make you unbreakable. That is the beauty of Stoic transformation. You turn their attack into your advantage. The next time someone tries to belittle you, think of it as a signal, an indicator showing where you need to grow stronger. If their words hurt you, ask yourself why. If their actions disturb your peace, explore that weakness. Do not blame them, study yourself. Use the moment to gain insight. This is how you convert emotional wounds into psychological armor. The most powerful people in the world are not those who avoid challenges, but those who transmute them. They take what was meant to harm them and reshape it into something that benefits them. It's alchemy of the mind. You take bitterness and turn it into discipline. You take rejection and turn it into ambition. You take disrespect and turn it into self-respect. You take struggle and turn it into strength. Enemies unknowingly contribute to your evolution. Their efforts to limit you end up expanding you. Their hostility reveals your maturity. Their doubt pushes you to prove yourself, not to them, but to yourself. Over time, you start to truly understand that the people who tried to hurt you were not obstacles, but catalysts. Without them, you would not have developed the level of mental toughness you now possess. Growth becomes your revenge. Not by returning the attack, not by fighting back, but by rising so high that the version of you they tried to break no longer exists. You outgrow them. And when you outgrow them, you silently defeat them. They remain stuck in the same mindset while you evolve into a stronger, wiser, more grounded person. And eventually, they realize that their attack created the very person they hoped you'd never become. This is the Stoic way, not reacting, not collapsing, but transforming every blow into power, every setback into strength, every attack into personal evolution. There comes a point in life when you realize that words mean nothing and results mean everything. Arguments can go on forever. Insults can be thrown back and forth endlessly. People can twist stories, spread rumors, and try to paint you as something you are not. But results, your growth, your discipline, your transformation, those cannot be denied. They stand as undeniable evidence of who you truly are, And nothing crushes an opponent more silently than watching you rise higher while they remain trapped in their own noise. Most people rely on words to prove themselves. They want to convince others, correct others, defend themselves, or argue their innocence. But those who understand the power of action know that you don't need to say a single word when your life itself is the proof. When you stay focused on progress, your success becomes the response they cannot argue with. You outgrow their criticism, you outrun their doubts, you outshine their negativity. Your opponents expect you to fight loudly, to engage emotionally, to defend your pride. But when you choose discipline over drama, you disrupt everything they hoped for. Instead of battling with them, you battle with your own limitations. Instead of trying to defeat them, you focus on defeating your own weaknesses. This shift alone makes you unstoppable. They waste time talking about you while you use your time building yourself. The truth is simple. People who attack you don't fear your words, they fear your potential. They fear what you could become if you stopped reacting and started focusing. They fear the power you gain when you turn inward instead of outward. That is why they try so hard to distract you with insults, drama, chaos, and lies. They want you emotional, not disciplined, reactive, not strategic, lost in arguments, not focused on your goals. But when you take the Stoic path and allow your results to speak for you, you leave them powerless. They cannot control you, they cannot trigger you, they cannot stop your progress, and slowly your silent success humiliates them more than any comeback ever could. Think of every great person in history. None of them became powerful by arguing. They became powerful through relentless work, self-mastery, and discipline. They let their achievements speak louder than any critics. They understood something essential. People might doubt your words, but they cannot deny your success. So instead of proving people wrong by talking, prove them wrong by transforming. Let your habits become your strength. Let your discipline become your shield. Let your improvement become the answer to every rumor, every insult, every attempt to bring you down. When someone says you can't do something, do it without announcing it. When someone doubts your ability, improve quietly. When someone spreads lies about you, let time expose the truth. When someone tries to overshadow you, shine through consistent effort. Your job is not to silence them by fighting. Your job is to silence them by becoming someone their words can no longer touch. People eventually get tired of speaking against someone who keeps rising. They get tired of mocking someone who keeps thriving. They get tired of doubting someone who keeps proving them wrong just by living with purpose. Your success becomes their defeat. Not because you attacked them, but because you elevated yourself to a place they can no longer reach. This is the Stoic form of victory. Quiet, steady, undeniable. It takes patience, discipline, and inner strength. But once you commit to it, no opponent can challenge you on the battlefield of results. Words fade, noise fades, gossip fades, but the impact of a disciplined life stays forever. So let them talk, let them criticize, let them doubt. You don't need to fight them. You just need to do the work. Because when your results speak, the world listens and your opponents fall silent. Understanding your opponent's weakness is far more valuable than reacting to their rage. Most people look only at the surface, the insult, the anger, the attack. They see the behavior, but they ignore the reason behind it. Stoic wisdom teaches that everything a person does comes from an inner state, an emotion, a fear, an insecurity, a wound. When someone tries to harm you, their behavior is simply a reflection of something broken inside them. And when you learn to see this truth, you stop being intimidated and start being empowered. People don't lash out because they are strong, they lash out because they are unstable. People don't attack because they are confident, they attack because they feel threatened. Rage is not a sign of power, it is a sign of inner chaos. When you understand this, your opponent loses their ability to manipulate your emotions. You no longer take their words personally. You no longer react as if they are giants standing before you. You begin to see them as they truly are, humans struggling with themselves. The Stoics believe that no one does wrong willingly. People act from internal disorder. A person who insults others is carrying insecurity. A person who spreads rumors carries jealousy. A person who tries to sabotage you carries fear. Fear of your potential, fear of your growth, fear of losing control. They attack because they cannot handle what your presence reveals about their own inadequacies. When you shift your focus from their rage to their weakness, you gain the upper hand. You stop fearing them. You stop being confused by their actions. Instead, you begin to understand the deeper truth. Their aggression is not about you, it is about them. And with this understanding comes power. You cannot be defeated by someone whose actions no longer shake you. This is why emotional intelligence is more powerful than physical strength or verbal dominance. When you see clearly, you do not get pulled into unnecessary battles. When you recognize the insecurity behind someone's anger, you don't react to the anger, you see the wound. And wounds are powerless against someone who stands firm in self-awareness. Your opponent's weakness is revealed in their patterns. The one who talks the loudest usually fears silence. The one who tries to dominate is terrified of being insignificant. The one who cannot stand your growth is someone who has stopped growing themselves. The one who tries to belittle you does so because they feel small inside. Every action is a message if you learn how to read it. Understanding this gives you control. When someone tries to provoke you, instead of reacting, you analyze. Instead of responding, you observe. Instead of fighting, you stand firm. And this alone breaks your opponent's strategy. They want you emotional. They want you reactive. They want you out of balance. But when you remain calm, when you see through their behavior, they lose their only weapon. This kind of clarity is silent domination. You defeat them not by attacking, but by seeing them clearly while they cannot understand you. You stay grounded while they lose control. You stay strategic while they become emotional. You stay steady while they become unstable. Their rage exposes their weakness. Your calm exposes your strength. When you understand someone's weakness, you can predict their next move. You know what triggers them. You know what scares them. You know why they attack. And with this knowledge, you become untouchable. They cannot surprise you, manipulate you, or shake you anymore. You have already seen the truth behind their mask. This is the essence of Stoic intelligence, not fighting harder, but seeing deeper, not overpowering your opponent, but out-understanding them. And once you do, their power dissolves. They cannot defeat someone who understands them better than they understand themselves, because the moment you understand their weakness, you stop being their target, and they start becoming their own enemy.